I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Mary Ann?
Here.
Scott?
I'm here.
Brian?
Here.
Dirk?
Here.
Danny? Here. And I am here. Mr. Belanti is excused for the meeting. May I have a motion to accept roll?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Minutes from the previous meeting. Do we have any comments? We will be voting on it next week. No? Righty. Communications? Does anyone have any communications to share? Nope. Okay.
I don't know how, where would I had a random meeting in Wegmans, probably appropriate for an executive session with a retiring teacher. So I'll leave that for later. Just don't want to surprise anybody with that. Okay. Other than that, no other communications, no.
Okay. In communications, we do have the results of the district vote held on May 20th. The budget of 105
$790. You weren't
million,
that far away.
right?
Mhm.
$576.12. We passed that budget, 790 to 223, for a total of 1,013 votes cast. 2 board members were elected to their 5-year terms. Brian and Dirk both elected. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Dr. Genestri, can I just ask you, how does that compare to previous? Are we right on track or?
In terms of the
In terms
success
of,
rate or?
Well, no, in terms of vote cast.
A little lower than normal. We're usually between 11 and 1,200. So, yep.
Consistent, but.
Yeah.
Brian was wondering why he didn't get that extra couple points that the budget got. Disappointed.
We have a full on analysis going right now.
Okay.
Okay, unfinished business. We have none. Dr. Genestri, you're up.
Thank you, Mrs. Battaglia. Just a few updates for the board tonight. Oh, I hit the wrong button. This might take a minute, sorry. Perfect. There we go.
Big presentation.
Okay. Before we get into the superintendent's report, I'd like to call up Dr. Wilson to talk about our code of conduct and where we are with that.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I'm going to be discussing with you our code of conduct and some of the work we've been doing with our DEI committee. There are the names of the committee members. As you can see, the members cut across all of our key stakeholder groups. This year, we pushed hard to add an increased number of students, and our students were very active on this committee, coming and participating throughout many of the sessions and really giving us good student voice into the work that we accomplished this year. This year, the committee worked on the district code of conduct. And if you look at that committee, you can see there are about 40 members there. And the work spanned from developing questions that we sent back to schools to push their thinking around their school improvement plans, to the graduation cap and gown that the students are now wearing and were as they went to visit the elementary schools last week. I thought they looked very good with the gold stripe around the sleeve. The DEI committee was involved in supporting that, but also involved in reviewing our district code of conduct. The thinking behind this committee taking on that work, because it had sat with the safety committee, is that the work, we wanted to make sure it was aligned to our strategic plan. And as you look at our strategic plan, the strategic plan was written by a subcommittee of DEI, which all those members now are on the DEI committee. And so just making sure that we are consistent and aligned across all 3 goal areas and the big main philosophy points of our strategic plan. Next slide. What we've decided to do on the committee is we're deep into the work. We're about 2/3 of the way through reviewing the code of conduct. we are looking at it line by line and really having deep discussion about every point. And really honing in on how it goes back to and aligns to our strategic plan. So what we've decided to do is we don't want to rush it. We want to make sure it's done right. We want to make sure that it's written at the level that we want it to be written at, and we want to make sure that we provide the right professional development for everyone across the district, because there's some elements in there that we want to make sure everybody is anchored in on. So we're submitting our current plan with minor changes, and in a minute, I'm going to go over those changes for the upcoming school year. We plan to, that will go up like it normally does for the 30 days to review. The new draft we will continue to work on into next school year. And with plans to finish that up about mid-year, mid-semester, fall semester. But then that intense focus around professional learning throughout 2025-26 to establish the foundational understanding across the entire district around multi-tiered systems and supports, because that is anchored in on the strategic plan. So that SEL focus, that social emotional learning, restorative practices, PBIS, positive behaviors and interventions. What does that mean? What does it look like in our schools? We have been significantly involved in all that training for the last year, but we are hearing from across the district, we need to push harder. It's not enough. We want to make sure that the foundation is clearly there. Folks are saying they still need to anchor in on those and have a really good understanding so that as we roll out that code of conduct, we roll it out and it's done very well. So we really want to spend an intense amount of time on the professional learning that goes along with it. So we plan to submit a brand new draft for at the end of 25-26 to go into effect for 26-27. That will give us the time we need to really do a good job and do it very well in reviewing the entire strategic plan, or excuse me, I keep saying strategic plan, the code of conduct, and also lay that foundation around professional development. So that is our timeline that we're looking at. While in the meantime, we have a current code of conduct. We are required to have one, right? And we want to go to the next slide. Talk about some of the components. Now, we took this to the DEI committee. You saw that, about 40 members. There were about 30 members in the room that day. And it was a unanimous vote to do what I just laid out for you. We discussed it as a group, and the group chimed in and said, yes, that makes the most sense for us. And then we went through our current code of conduct and we looked at what are the highlights we need to make sure we add to this code of conduct to make sure we're good going into the next school year. So what you have here is just a highlight of what's on the shortened version, and it's linked in there. There's two versions. There's the plain language version, that's the shorter one. And then you have the longer code of conduct that has a lot of explanations and more specifics, going deeper than the plain language one. The plain language one is the one that most people see because it really, it's easier to follow. So what I've spelled out for you in the plain language, anything that is changed is highlighted in yellow. So as you go through the document, you'll see. And I've called out each page where you see the changes. So on page 2, we updated our DASA coordinators, our Dignity for All Students Act coordinators for each of our sites. We have a spot set aside for our distraction-free school plan, which we'll be discussing with you next week. I'm very excited about the committee and the work that that committee has done on the distraction-free school plan. So that will be linked in on page 5. We've added reference to our new AI policy because, as you know, we adopted a policy 5840. So it's referenced there. That was an addition. And then it's referenced again about the cell phone policy, the distraction-free schools policy. And then at the end, I just needed to update my name. And those are all the changes, all highlighted there. Here's a timeline that we have that is typical for the code of conduct. We typically bring it this time of year. It goes up for public comment. And so you see the span through July. When we get to our August board meeting, it would come up for a vote. And then going from there, we would go into the school year with that plan.
I'm sorry, where
questions?
do you put it out for public comment? Is it on the webpage?
Yes, it goes right on the website.
Okay.
Right now, we have the safety plan that is up for public comment. It'll be there along with the safety plan
Okay.
because their time is going to overlap. Their 30 days are going to overlap. We also will have the cell phone or the distraction-free school policy. After we present it next week, we'll also have it there along with the town hall.
Okay, thank you.
Questions about?
Any questions?
Yes. If we're all good, I'm gonna ask Dr. Wilson to stay up there to talk, recap our Challenge to Change event.
Oh, yes.
Let me ask just a couple
One
of
question.
questions. When you receive the public comments, is that something you'll share with us at the next meeting? Is that, or where you?
Absolutely. We'll follow the same process
Okay.
and we'll share any comments.
And when you're looking at writing or, making adjustments for next year, do you look at other districts to see what they're
Great question.
going through or do you have a template? Like, how do you do this?
Yeah.
That's a big.
It's a big undertaking. So that's exactly what we did. We had a file of several different codes of conducts from across the area. We pulled 3 that we thought were kind of different to give everybody, this is what it looks like in different places. These are some components you might like or might not like. And so with each section, the committee looked at the different code of conducts. They called out, these are the things we thought work well in Sweet Home, and these are the things we think don't work well in Sweet Home. We don't want that in there, right? That feedback was then taken to a smaller committee that tried to pull that together and then bring it back to that larger committee. So that committee of about 40 people anchors in, and there's a couple people in the room that are on that committee. We anchored in on each section like 4 times. We kept going back to it because we first looked at the 3 different codes of conducts. I believe it was North Tonawanda, one from Monroe County, Greece Central, and Sweet Home. And we made a comparison there. And then we also said, if there's something here that we think we want to see more of in other places, I had a whole folder because I did an audit of code of conducts. And then we pulled all that information together, brought it back to the committee. The committee goes through it line by line and makes adjustments and says, take this part out, leave this part in, add this, add that. And then we go back, we make those edits, we bring it back. Okay, now we're closer to it. So we did that like 4 times for each section.
For those of us
Quite a bit of
not
work.
used to know the process, this is
Yeah.
interesting to hear.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of work. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And it is a hefty document, so that's why we really want to make sure it's done right. And the folks on the committee do take their time. We look at every single word. That word doesn't work right there. We should change it to this, and so we take all the feedback.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wilson. And just love for you to offer a recap of what a great day last Friday was for our Challenge to Change, and want to thank Dr. Wilson for her leadership on putting this event together with her team, and just an awesome day of learning. So.
It was, a lot of fun, lots of fun. So the students took the lead in everything, from the selection of the music and the DJ components of the event to running the different activities, emceeing the event, and laying out everything. The student artwork was on display. We held a T-shirt contest from across the district to pick the design for our T-shirt. The winner of the T-shirt design was in the house. But then we displayed all of the students who participated. All their artwork was displayed throughout the venue. And we really honed in on this whole idea of unleashing your superpowers around kindness and belonging. Because if you can just take a moment to be kind for a minute, you never know what that might mean to someone for that day. And so the students honed in on a session around identifying that superpower and really highlighting it and taking it back to their schools and thinking about how they would use that superpower from I'm creative, so I can help in a way back at my classroom around my level of creativity. I know how to, I'm trying to think of some of the students' superpowers. There was a whole range there of some of the superpowers that the students were honing in on. And from every angle you can think of, they hit it. And they talked about ways that they would take it back to their schools and their homes and their communities to help with that. But then they also participated in healing circles. And so smaller circles in which they honed in again on the kindness in communities. And who couldn't benefit from that in this world today, right? Just focusing in on how just a simple smile can help the person sitting next to you and start a conversation. And so our kids really stepped up to that. There were a couple of leadership challenges. The paper challenge was very popular, was a tower. They had to put all of the kindness thoughts that they had from the day onto different pieces of paper, and then they used those papers to build up to make towers. And the goal was you had to do that with the team and not talk to them and not use anything but paper. No scissors, no tape. And the kids had a blast with it. So if you go on to the next, you see the feedback from the different sessions, feedback from the participants, the pie chart over here on my right breaks down the different things that were available. There was a photo booth. You can see some of that, and you'll see some of your faces in there. But you're going to see some of that in the next slide. Yeah, go back.
Oh, sorry.
But you see the biggest piece of the pie to the right on that's in red, Dakari Singletary. He's a Sweet Home alum, graduated class 2012, and he runs an organization now in Buffalo and throughout schools. And the kids just loved that session. It was the healing circles, and Candles in the Sun is the name of the organization. So he is back here and really wanting to stay connected to Sweet Home. And then you also see the feedback on who wants to be a change agent. And you see the pie in the middle, those are the students who said, yeah, I'm interested. You got some who are in this place of, no, not yet. I need to warm up to it. It's okay. We'll keep working on them. And then you'll see the breakdown of the kids there. We had students in the building from fourth grade on, so all the way up, and everyone had a good time. And you'll see that in the next slide. So we had this fabulous photo booth. As you see, it was one of the first times we could show off our new Panther. So the kids had fun with it. And you see some of your faces in there too. So I think it showed that everybody had a good time and connected, and they enjoyed the chicken fingers again.
There you go. That was good, yes.
So it was a good session, and we're looking forward to designing next year's. The kids designed the whole thing. They designed the whole day. They are the ones who picked the theme and helped design what we were going to do for the day.
Now, we'd be remiss if we didn't ask you, what was your superpower?
My superpower is helping to highlight other leaders.
Good one. I like that.
So leaders for example, we have our little sixth grader, Muhammad, from the middle school, who was working the floor when they were doing the paper tower. We have little Rose from Heritage Heights, who I keep telling her, you are the student body class president for sure. When you get there, that's you all day when you get to the high school. So they're coming up, and you see it in them already. So I think that's my superpower, calling it out and making sure I tell people I see that in them.
Great.
Right.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. Awesome day. Just embodied what Sweet Home is all about that day. And so really appreciate the efforts of the DEI committee, ACT committee. And thank you to the board for supporting an event. It was a awesome day.
250.
250 students there in the rooms. Just a few updates. I want to thank our Sweet Home community for their votes. A couple weeks ago regarding our budget, we had a 78% approval rating of the budget, which is just a great indication of the support of our community has for our school district and its mission and vision. We had an awesome day of events and food and halfway decent weather, I think, for our candidates that stood outside all day long. And just want to say on behalf of all of us at district office, congratulations to Brian and Dirk on being reelected and receiving 5-year terms to the board. And of course, also want to, there was another thing that we voted on that day, and we officially unveiled our new Panther logo the Wednesday after the vote. We went over to Maplemere to congratulate fourth grader Raifa Rana, and we brought her parents over with us. It was an awesome event. We gave her the poster board of the new logo, and I asked her, "Do you know why we're here?" And she said yes. And so it was great to get some pictures with her. And she's a very, very quiet student, but boy, oh boy, was her concept and drawing powerful. And we just congratulate her. But just again, to reiterate, we had 300 entries, 10 finalists, a trip to 26 shirts. We couldn't have done this without our partnership with 26 shirts. We've met with Ms. Slagle, who already did an audit with the athletic department before we even met that week to start talking about transitioning where we have to transition the new logo to. Everything from letterhead to the wall in the gym needs a fresh look. And so there's a lot of Panthers around the district, and slowly but surely, you're going to see this one be representative. So I want to thank Rafa. It's 26 shirts. Christine really led the effort to work with the art teachers who were absolutely all in and fantastic during this process. Real success story, and they have the community be able to vote on it, and anybody who wanted to have a voice in it could have a voice in it. And I think I have not heard one bad thing. Some of even the rhetoric on social media from local outlets said that's the best Panther they've ever seen. So
Nice.
really
People
really
voted.
happy.
Do you have that number?
Same, I don't know what the number was. Do you
We could,
remember?
you had kids and all that.
Yeah,
other
it was way more than,
We have,
Close to it, yeah, it was over 1,000. I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know, but I
Yeah.
do have the count in my.
yeah, we'll
office,
get that for you.
Sherry said 1,100.
1,100.
1,100,
Yeah.
okay.
So it was a stream of high school students coming here.
Yes.
Multiple
Yeah.
times.
Yes, yep. So. Well, when was that? Well, it was last week. We honored our retirees. There's a lot going on, and just wanted to congratulate all of them. We had a really nice evening with our retirees. The best part of that night was hearing their stories from their supervisors or principals, and just 585 years of service to Sweet Home, just irreplaceable. We hope that those that we are hiring during hiring season could even come close to the dedication and heart that our retirees have had here during their time at Sweet Home. It was a great night, a lot of memories, a lot of reminiscing, and just want to once again thank our retirees for all of their service and hard work and dedication to our students. It's working in education. It's not easy at times, but the people on this list and so many of our employees here just give their heart every single day to our kids. And this is a big loss to the district, but their legacy will also always live on. And just want to say thank you for their service. And here's just some of the pictures from the night's events. And the smiles on people's faces. So I want to thank Marissa for letting us host it at the middle school as well. That cafeteria is a great spot for events like this. So, and we are nearing graduation, June 26th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We will have the graduation ceremony at the UB Center for the Arts. Super excited for that night, a culmination of a great year. And just want to congratulate several board members who have seniors. So Mrs. Battaglia, Mrs. Xanthon, Mr. Belanti.
Oh, not yet.
He's a junior.
Peter.
Oh, he's a junior. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry.
Infiltrated senior.
Senior prom. Oh my gosh, you're right. Oh my gosh.
Don't
I'm
rush
sorry.
me.
But prom was great.
But prom was great.
So I had to get his picture up there. So
Prom was awesome, but
Yeah.
on that note,
he's a junior.
I did run into a parent that asked me, why don't we have a junior prom?
I'm open to that idea.
We
We
had
could-
them growing up,
You used to
but
have
that
a
was
junior.
Mine was
100
always
years
combined. It
ago.
was always
Yeah.
junior, senior prom.
Yep.
And I was like, well, I don't know. I'll
Yeah.
make sure I mention it.
I had
Yeah.
So as
juniors.
we
I
talk
was
about your
wondering,
junior.
Yeah, about that too.
Yeah, I'm absolutely open to that conversation. So I don't know why we don't have one. I don't know why, but yeah, if we want one, we can have one.
Next year, your person will.
They were trying
So my apologies. I, as a parent, I would never want to rush that.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't rush
But I
it. It's
saw,
not-
I was
He's
thinking
gonna
prom.
stay with me forever.
There you go.
anyway.
There
What she said, say it again.
Oh, my.
Oh, they were just trying to raise money for it this year, but they didn't get enough to like make it happen. So
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And that's what I have for tonight. Is there any questions?
Anybody
Thank
have
you.
any questions? All right, upcoming events, we have the wrap up of PTA meetings, several flag days at our elementaries. 10-year reception is next week. Senior awards night is next week. We're in the exams start next week.
Tomorrow, I think.
Tom-
High school.
That's what I kind of thought
Yeah.
it was.
Tomorrow's the first one, right? Geometry is tomorrow?
Tomorrow's the first one, geometry.
Yep.
Okay. And then obviously graduation is coming.
Yes.
We're not gonna talk about it though. Okay, that brings us to open session, board policy 1510. This open session is for topics related to tonight's agenda. Is anyone interested in speaking? Nope. Okay. New business, we will be voting on new business items A through I next week. Special ed class placements and preschool placements.
It's 276 pages. I've gotten through about half, so I will have them done by next week.
Alrighty. Our monthly financials. We have the milk and juice bid coming next week.
You know, normally when we've done the milk and juice, don't we get treats?
We used to.
What's happened?
That was ice cream.
That's
I
the
thought
ice
it
cream
was
bid.
Ice cream bid.
yeah.
I mean, I would take
Yeah.
chocolate milk and
All right,
stuff.
okay. Put that on.
The science supplies bid. I don't need any samples of that. School bus parts bid. Anybody have any questions on anything? Just stop me. Disposal of obsolete property. Forgot to even look and see what it was.
Technology pieces.
Oh, that's right.
Lots of old IT equipment.
Yes.
IT. Yep,
IT.
that's right, Don. did.
Pages and pages of it.
Then we have our funding of our reserves. The proclamation for our retirees. District safety plan. An overnight field trip for the boys hockey team in January 2026. They would like to go to the Thousand Islands for a tournament.
Wow.
And the contract for cooperative ed services.
I was actually going to ask Don a question here, but they're both of the bids that I saw in there, both had short periods before they expired. I'm assuming they're holding the prices for us, even though both of them, okay.
Yes,
I say, because they're both going to expire before we vote on them.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I think they usually do.
think so. It
They
just
do.
caught my attention this
Yeah.
time.
Any questions or comments on any of the business we'll be voting on next week?
Mr. Johnson, Don is actually here in
Oh.
the meeting, so I don't know, Don, do you have?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's Oz.
perfect. It's like, yeah, it's better than putting my ugly mug up on the screen. Mr. Johnson, BOCES is aware of our voting timeline, and they are holding the pricing for those bids, those bids for student iPads as well as teacher laptops. So they will be held. We will vote. You guys will vote on it next week. And then the BOCES board will vote on it on or around July 9th, I believe it is. And then the order will be placed.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Mr. Feldman.
Sure.
Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
And pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Okay, that brings us to our second open session. Would anyone like to address the board? Please state your name, address, and relationship to Sweet Home.
Good evening. My name is Jamie Mancine. I live at 276 Glen Haven Drive, and I am here tonight I'm honored to be the PTA president for Glendale Elementary. Thank you so much for the recognition tonight, for all of the work that we do. I think in these community meetings, a lot of the time, and you see this in my emails that I send, you hear a lot of the things that we are against and that we have big feelings on. But I try as much as I can to share the amazing things that are happening in our schools. And so I think I would be remiss if I didn't share some of the amazing things we were able to accomplish this year at Glendale as a PTA. I'm going to be stealing Danny's thunder because I'm sure at some point, because she's very involved with us, she was going to share these things. But we were able to accomplish a lot this year, and we're really, really proud of it. So we raised over $18,000 this year for Glendale. We were able to hold 9 appreciation events for the staff and teachers. We were able to donate over 50 classroom games to enhance the idea of playing the Panther Way for all of our elementary students. We held 15 events. We recognized 2 to 3 teachers or staff members every month for the work that they're doing in our building, because we could not do what we do without them, and our kiddos would not be as successful as they are without them. We sponsored recorders for the music program, pom-poms for the cheer club. We supported 7 field trips. We gave a book to every student for their birthday. We gave t-shirts to every student for their field trips, their leadership assemblies. We continued to support the Leader in Me program. We also supported our student lighthouse team. And next week we'll be honoring someone with a scholarship, one of our seniors, which is really exciting for us. And really, I think I just want to say overall, it's been such a joy to be in that building. Like, we just get to spend so much time with the kids and the teachers and the staff. And it's just such a blessing to me. And I just think not just the work we do, but the school as a whole, we couldn't do it without each other. And we work really closely together. And I think that should be celebrated. So that's all I wanted to share tonight. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And your truck, oh, sorry.
This is out of the ordinary. We don't normally have back and forth communications. I'm going to ask you, are you staying on as president next year? Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I was just gonna say your trunk or treat was awesome. That too. I mean, that was phenomenal. And just the
if
people that attended.
I could, that's a point of information. I ran into your, I think they used to be called assistant principals. She's now culture and climate. Sean, she is now a new board member in Alden School Districts. Very nice
Akron.
lady. Yeah,
Akron.
sorry. What's that?
She's in Akron.
Oh, Akron,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Akron. Very nice lady. So anyways.
And I would just like to say, and I don't know, maybe you could take this back to the other PTAs. I did see on social media the what we did this year post, I guess, with the flyer. That was really amazing. And I think that, some of our other PTAs could take a beat and look at that and maybe share their own. Because I think it's really important, as a former PTA person and president, it's a thankless job sometimes. So we appreciate you and all of our PTAs for sure. But it's really nice to see those kind of things come up on social media and be able to see the great things that are being done. So thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Personnel will be voting on this next week. Both teaching and service. Any comments or questions? Okay. Adjournment. Can I have a motion and a second to adjourn to executive session for matters related to the employment history of several individuals? We will not be returning.